welcome to CG Spotlights. My name is Liz Trot. I am the host. This is episode 4 of the series, so thank you to all of you who have been subscribing and tuning in. Today I will be bringing on Santiago Forero-Lopez, a dear friend of mine who is an environment artist currently. He really thinks through all of the assets and the lighting and the set dressing and brings it together to create just these absolutely stunning pieces. He is about to graduate from Noman, School of Visual Effects, Games and Animation. He just wrapped up an internship at Agbo. He's a great artist, and I cannot wait for you guys to see this interview. Starting right now. Hi, Santiago. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's so great to see you. How are you doing?
Good. Thank you for having me. I'm
Yeah,
excited. I'm
of
excited to be here.
course. No, yeah, thank you for coming on. So, I guess to start, do you want to talk a little bit about who you are and what you're doing right now in the industry?
Yeah, for sure. So I'm currently a last term student at Noman. I am an environment artist. It's kind of the path that I chose in terms of my career.
You're a games art student, correct?
Correct. Yes, games art. Yeah.
Cool. That's really exciting. Are you excited to graduate?
So excited. So excited. I'm ready. I'm ready to graduate.
You're so close. What got you into 3D art to begin with? Like, how did you get here?
So I studied film back in 2018
Okay, where?
at the National University of Colombia. So back where I'm from in Colombia, I studied film there. Um, and the pandemic hit around like my seventh semester or eighth semester, and we were all kind of obligated to use different tools to make our class assignments virtually. And that's kind of how I discovered Maya and all these kind of different 3D software. I discovered 3D that way, just trying to replicate what I was doing in film school, but in a virtual setting. Um, and after I did that, I kind of fell in love with it. I fell in love with it so much that I was like, honestly, I don't even want to study film at this point. I want to go towards that specifically. Like I want to that like I found the path that I wanted to go towards, and it was like an aha moment. Like, yeah, that's exactly what I want to do.
Okay, well, I guess kind of what I do is I pick one piece and I kind of hone in on it for every artist. For you, it's always been my favorite. You know this. I love your boathouse piece, and I'm just so curious about it because I actually don't know a lot about why you created it or what the inspiration was or kind of what your process was like.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk a little bit about the inspiration and kind of what got you to creating this like beautifully detailed piece?
Yeah, of course. Thank you. So there's a song called La Piragua, which in Spanish translates to a small boat. And the song talks about a little small boat that navigates a long, long river to finally reach home. And it's kind of like a love song, that talks about no matter like how long the distance is between two people, you always find that connection. And that was a song that's very important in my family. My grandparents showed me it. Yeah, it's been like super, super important in terms of like how we were raised. And I always kind of had that connection with it. So I wanted to kind of represent it visually. Like what I felt when hearing that song and how much it meant to me. I wanted to make that a visual piece so that other people saw what I felt hearing that song. And the little snippet that I have, it's the animation of like what 5 seconds. The song is in the background. So it's
Okay.
yeah, it's kind of like that homage to that song that has been such an important part of how I was raised, my family, and my culture. And it's a really good song. Like if you want to listen to it, it's actually really good.
Well, we're like, I don't know, I guess some of the creative challenges for you during this one.
Oh,
How did
100%.
something personal to you?
Yeah, yeah. This was the first environment that I try to actually make in a traditional proper pipeline that was modular, that I wanted to make sure that I was really checking all the boxes in terms of I'm doing this technically correctly. So that was a challenge at first, and it was made for environments for game class with John Ariano, which is amazing. Learning from him was great because you really get to explore the pipeline, the first introduction that he shows, but at the same time, like he also focuses on you need to make sure that you're focusing on the type of piece that you want to make. It's important to you. It's has like a relevance in what you want to make as an artist. And I thought that was really important. Exterior environments are a huge challenge, in so many ways. I think one of them is like lighting primarily. The lighting for this one was pretty challenging because I didn't, it's kind of overwhelming. Environment art as a whole is very overwhelming because you have so many pieces that you want to take control of. and you could keep adding stuff and keep adding stuff and you don't know when to stop. And you need to know what's a good balance of what can I do realistically and when to continue. But in terms of lighting specifically, it's also an overwhelming part because you have only one source of lighting, so you can't experiment that much in terms of what the lighting looks like in a scene. But you also want to have that freedom to creatively direct what your piece looks like. So it's challenging. That was definitely challenging. And also the aspect of like, okay, environment creation is such an overwhelming discipline because you need to focus on so many things and you can get really easily overwhelmed by the details. Um, but at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, you need to find that balance of when to say no and when to stop adding stuff.
Do you enjoy lighting in Unreal, like
Oh,
all
I
the time?
love that's my favorite part. That's honestly
Really?
my favorite step in
No.
environment creation is the lighting. I think it ties everything together. It's like the point where I'm just enjoying every single asset that I've made. It's like, great, I want to make this look good. This is the best part, and yeah, I have a lot of fun with the lighting.
Do you find concepts that are more personal to you harder to create or easier to create, would you say?
Ah, it's such a tough question. I guess the answer is both. Easier to create because I feel like the connection that you have with them motivates you to keep going. And yeah, you find that motivation in you to continue working on the piece. You know that once you finish, it's like something that means a lot to you. But at the same time, that means that you you want the piece to be the absolute best possible, so you
It's like a
hold it
higher
to
standard, right?
exactly to a higher
Yeah.
standard that you have, and it's like a lot of pressure to like actually, and not even pressure, but like you want the piece to look exactly how you want it to look because it's a concept that is very, very dear to you. So yeah, I think it's very rewarding, but it's very challenging.
I completely agree. I've done a few personal pieces, and I think like something I realized early was that I took critique harder on the pieces that
Mm,
meant more to me. And I had to kind of learn to like disassociate the two and be like the art versus like the feeling behind it. Cause I was kind of getting like more offended because it meant
right.
more to me, which was like, you can't do that. You know what I mean? When you're
Yeah.
getting critique. So I hear you. I hear you
Yeah,
completely.
that's so true. That is so true. Critique specifically, yeah. Like you take it more personally because why wouldn't you? It's like very, very near to
The
you.
heart, you're like putting it, and we're artists and we already wear our heart on our sleeve. You know what I mean? So just like
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
personal
hard.
aspect to it doesn't happen. Maya or ZBrush?
ZBrush, hands down.
Unreal or ZBrush?
Oh, ooh. Oh, that's so tough. I'm gonna see Unreal.
Okay.
I'm gonna see Unreal. I love Unreal because it to me it's the program that just allows you the most creative freedom.
TV shows or movies?
Ooh, movies. The TV shows I can't get. It's very hard for me to get hooked on a TV show.
A substance painter or substance designer?
Oh, it's tough too. I'm gonna go with substance designer, and I don't think the answer would have been the same like a few months ago, honestly.
Modeling or texturing?
Texture.
Texturing or lighting?
Oh, lighting, hands down. Lighting will win over everything.
What's your favorite video game?
Oh, interesting. So I grew up with the Arkham series, so Arkham City, Arkham Asylum. Those definitely like made a mark on what I wanted to do professionally too.
Environment art or character art?
Oh, environment art, hands down. Yeah.
What is the hardest asset you've had to make?
Ooh, that's tough. Oh, that's tough. I'm thinking of two. One, so in the sanctuary piece, I had these statues that were part of the columns. And also, there's this the boat in this piece was also a little bit challenging too. Technically wise, that one, in terms of like what I wanted the asset to look like, yeah, those statues in that sanctuary piece were a little bit challenging.
What is, I guess, one piece of advice then that you would give to a young artist in Colombia or a younger version of yourself in Colombia who's about to start on this 3D journey? What's something that you would want to pass off to them?
Yeah, I think number one, just patience is so important. Um, I think the learning curve with 3D is intimidating at first, but I think it's very important to know that your work will eventually get to where you expect your work to be. And then your first pieces and the first work that you have, it will not be there, but that's just everyone that goes through the process. And eventually, your work will reach the quality that you want it to have. It's just part of the process. Also, uh, have a clear focus on what you want to do. Not necessarily that you have to know it right away, but um, experiment as much as possible and try as many different things. And with the things you try, just determine what specifically you want to focus on. And once you do find that focus, just go all in on it and try to find something that really, really motivates you that you want to do as an artist, whether that be character art or environment art or effects or whatever, and just find a specific discipline that they're passionate about and just go for it. Determination and just consistency is just so important. It's a matter of being consistent with your work and again, not giving up with you might think like the quality of your work is not there or whatever, but it's the constant process that we all go through. And I think you never stop. Like as artists, your work is gonna get better over time, no matter what point in your career you are. Like I still feel like I have so much to learn and so much to grow, and that's that it's a matter of knowing that there's always room for growth and for learning, and your art is never gonna reach like an endpoint where like you're always gonna become a better artist when with the time. So
Yeah, one thing about this industry that's so interesting is it's just a constant learning battle. You're just always going to have new softwares and new tools and new pipelines that you have to be learning anywhere that you go. I appreciate one thing like about you that is so cool is like even just now all of the advice you just gave of like patience and hard work and determination. Like that is just you in a nutball. That genuinely is you
mm,
as an artist. And it's been really cool to like watch you kind of grow from that stage of like having to learn to be patient and like learn how to grow as an artist and kind of seeing where you are now. It's so amazing. It's so
oh, thank you. What is your advice for other artists?
ooh, my advice. I think something I had to learn really quickly was how to take critique. I talked about it a little bit earlier. Going to Noman or going to any school that's like specialized in art, everyone going there is an artist. And I think we all come in as like the art kid from our previous schools or previous lives or our family, then to go to a school where everybody has those qualities and everybody is incredible at drawing, it humbles you really quickly. And I think that's something I definitely needed, but I think it took longer than it needed to for me.
Mm,
Yeah, if I could go back in time and kind of bring down my ego a little bit going in and allow myself to be okay not being the best in classes and kind
mm,
of learn how to use the talent of the people around me to kind of uplift me and push me to be a better worker instead of kind of push me down into kind of more negative self-talk. I think that's something I wish I would have known
yeah.
going in or would have been more prepared for. Because yeah, I that hit me like a train, and it needed to. And I'm glad that we came out the other side. But I do think it was something that, yeah, it just really shook me.
One of the things that I love about studying in an art specific school is just everyone around you is so talented, but it's your choice whether you feed off of that and let that motivate you, let you become a better artist, or you don't take critique easily, or don't let that don't let that be like a factor in how you evolve as an artist. So that's so true.
Yeah, I think it's like it's also a hard balance because I could talk about this for hours, just like
No,
the
I want
difference
to hear you talk
between
about it for
like
hours. I think it's amazing.
I think it's like for artists letting it fuel you, but not letting it like take over you. Because you can have healthy competition where like you have these friends who are incredible artists and you learn from them and you grow with them and you see them doing something really well and you want to do something really well and that can be really beautiful. But I've also seen it be very negative and very
Mm,
this drive that you have to be the best. And that's where I feel like it can get a little bit dangerous. And I think I came in with that attitude instead of like the healthier attitude of like collaborating with other people and learning from them and taking from them and giving back and whatnot and
yeah,
having this kind of collaborative exchange
yeah.
versus like doing it on your own because you have to do it on your own
Mm,
because if you do it on your own, you can prove that you're
yeah.
better.
It's tough not to have that competitive
It'll
aspect.
be there.
It's
Yeah,
it's
it's
always gonna
like
be there. It's just no matter how you choose to use that aspect in like how you are as an artist, you know? Whether you let it destroy you or like does that make you a better artist?
yeah, or let it motivate you. And also like
Exactly.
not be scared to surround yourself with good artists. I think
Yeah, that's so true.
I actually got a lot better at my craft once I was surrounded by people who were just so much better than me that I
Mm,
was like, wow, like
yeah.
you're humbled so quickly, but you also just like, can I do what they do? I want to, you know?
Yeah.
That was a good
So
question.
anyways,
Thank you for
I'm the
asking.
new host of CG Spotlights. I'm taking over your
Hey, you can
job.
start your own. You're great. Thank you for coming on.
No,
I
you're
really
great.
appreciate this.
No,
Yeah,
thank you.
you're
Thank
amazing.
you for having me. It's been amazing. It's been great.
Bye, Santi.
Bye.